Hey guys, welcome back to Find Your Mark. After the first couple of videos we actually had heaps of responses back. Hundreds, thousands, a couple mil, a couple hundred Snapchats.
Our Snapchat is going up through the roof.
Going off right now. So, we thought we'd do something a bit different today. Instead of doing a vlog, we're going to do a little podcast for you guys.
Video podcast, hence the
video podcast.
Going for the Joe Rogan experience.
Yeah. So, actually, we're thinking of naming our vlogs and our podcasts and stuff. So we might call the vlogs Find Your Vlogs.
Or just like FY vlogs.
FY vlogs? Or
it can be like for the record, but like for your... Yeah.
Maybe not. So do Find Your Vlogs, or for the podcast we'll do Find Your Podcast, and then what do we do for the cinematics? Find your cinematics, man.
Find your inspiration. No. We'll figure it out.
We'll think of something. Anyway, if you guys have any ideas or any suggestions, then throw them down in the comment sections below. So one of the things that we want to talk about that we found, or something that we think that is really relevant to today, is what should you do after you graduate school. So whether that's high school or even university. I think a lot of people don't know what they're doing. I think a lot of people feel like, especially with uni, that it's the forced, or it's the right path, or it's the only path to go to after high school. It seems the very mainstream option, where a lot of people don't even know what they want to study, and a lot of people study what their friends are studying, because a lot of the subjects in high school, they don't actually flow through to what uni subjects and whatnot, besides mathematics or like basic literacy, or I don't even know, English degrees, but that type of thing. We said we want to talk about what different options there are, or what is the best one, if there is a best one, given different circumstances and stuff.
Yeah, I think the first thing, it comes down to how mature the person is.
Not biologically, but also in terms of mental maturity.
And emotional maturity.
Yeah, that too.
They kind of have an idea of, like what we said in the previous videos, like what their purpose is, their goals.
Yeah, or it doesn't have to be in like an exact purpose either. It can be in a sort of that direction that they want to lead in.
Yeah.
I know one of the biggest things for me was I went through, like in the last video we talked about self-actualization, and I screwed it up the exact same way in the last video, going through that stage. I wrote down all the stuff that I wanted, what I liked or what I didn't like. So one of my guidelines was that I wanted to be my own boss. And so that doesn't mean that I have to specifically do this or this. It's just that in whatever field I choose to go in, is that I want to be my own boss. I want to be an entrepreneur of some kind. So I think that you don't have to be very specific in what you want, but as long as you know generally what field or what guidelines you want to head into. If it's health, it can be nursing or a physiologist or this or that, but at least you know what kind of direction you want to go in.
Yeah, I think another thing too, with me especially, it's all about like trying things out and then figuring out that that's not you. Yeah.
It's just as important, if not more important, to find out what you like. It's probably more important to find out what you don't like.
Yeah.
It's definitely a trial and error process. A lot of people think that if they fail, it's a mistake and they're taking a backward step, when in fact it's a forward step.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people are graduating high school, they feel that pressure in order to seem successful or look like they have everything figured out, which they don't. Or maybe they do.
What would you do differently if you could go back 5 years?
Jesus.
You're fresh out of high school.
Yeah.
And How would you do things differently?
What would I do? I would do so many things differently. But again, it's in hindsight, I had that mentality at that age.
Yeah.
So if I had to go back in time and had the exact same mentality, I reckon I'd do very similar things. I knew roughly what type of field I wanted to go into. I had friends go into that field. But if I had the mentality I have now and the understanding and the maturity that I have now, I definitely wouldn't have gone through university straight away.
What kind of maturity do you think you have now?
Or it's not what maturity, it's the level of the maturity that I have, and the understanding of myself. I don't think I understood myself, and like I said, what type of guidelines I wanted that suited me. So I didn't know back then that I didn't want to have, I want to be my own boss. That for me, that's very important. It's not that I don't like authority, it's just I prefer paving my own path. Yeah. So that's one thing I didn't understand back, and there's quite a few different, similar to those guidelines that I didn't know back then. So but one thing I wish I should have done, or I wish I could have done, is taking a gap year and traveled. I think a lot of people just do it because it's a easy or the cop-out way. But I feel like, going through that process, you'll figure out what you don't want to do. And you'll start to figure out those guidelines for yourself.
Yeah, I kind of agree in the sense that a gap year, like a working gap year, is very enlightening because you figure out, for example, my personal experience, I did 2 years of engineering and then went to work like full time for like 3 or 4 months at a seafood restaurant, which I'm still now. And like you gain a perspective. Well, I gained a perspective that I would have otherwise not. I wished I had that perspective when I just got out of high school. Like this is what full-time work is like. Right. This is the grind. Yeah. And to have experienced that and all the different kinds of people who work in hospitality too, it was like very enlightening. Yeah.
Definitely eye-opening.
Yeah. Yeah. From my kind of education sphere. Yeah. Like my life before that would have just been like university, like little travel bits where I go from like went on a cruise and went from country to country, for 1 or 2 days. Yeah. You're traveling, but you're not really learning anything. I feel like...
And you're not getting immersed in it either.
Yeah, it's more like, I'm a tourist, I'm going to do all the fun things that they say for me to do on TripAdvisor. You're not actually...
quad biking and this and that. You don't get to experience it.
Yeah, how are you actually growing and learning from... the ideal kind of travel is where you stay in a place for an extended period, like month, 2 months, immerse yourself in the culture,
surround yourself with the locals.
And you gain a perspective. Montaigne, this philosopher, he this is back in like the 15th century, I think, and he talks about the Spanish going to South America, and how when they met the local Aztecs or the Indians, they thought they were barbarians. They were like running around naked, had like the guys had like multiple wives, and it was just like a very peaceful society, and they lived till like they were over 100 most of the time. And then the the Spanish were like barbarians, sinful beings, and then they just totally culled them. And that's one of the things that travel does. It opens our eyes to new perspectives, and you might there's a kind of craze going around, well, not craze, but ideology going around the world where we kind of religion is bad. I think religion should be considered as like a cultural artifact.
Yeah, and
Right.
there's teachings that you can learn, they're valuable teachings
Yeah.
in the Bible, the Quran.
And
the
there
Torah.
are also not so valuable teachings
Yeah.
in the various religious texts.
Yeah.
So, yeah, my point is, Montaigne saw all these different cultures and the way Western society or European society was reacting to these different kind of cultures,
Yeah.
and vehemently disapproved of the reaction. Like, how is your culture better than anyone else's? That's why travel is so good. You get immersed from different perspectives, cultures,
Yeah.
and you learn about yourself, your own prejudices,
Yeah.
and how you can change your mind about them. And I guess you also learn about what you want to do, I guess. I think travel is more learning about yourself than
Yeah.
learning about what you want
I
to do.
think, living in the Western world, we're so sheltered, and then we form some form of moral high ground that our way of life, like the Montaigne story, philosophy, that our way is better, therefore we're right and
But
they're wrong.
that being said, all cultures, it's kind of a blanket statement, all cultures aren't equal.
Yeah.
Like, shit. For example, I don't put my name. I'm gonna put this very aptly.
Yeah. Just go. Just say what's on your mind.
The culture of Aboriginal Australians, like the kind of tribal culture that they would have had before Western civilization came, like, so pre, like
1776.
Yeah, 1770. And
Come on, man, you should know these facts.
what did education do for you? Yeah, that culture.
Maybe you should go to uni, dude.
That culture isn't equal to modern Western culture in the sense that, like, we have technologies, we have like social equalities that are more progressive and value human life better, and like through the different cultural aspects of our lives we live for longer.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that's what I'm saying. All cultures aren't created equal, but you can learn from different cultures.
Yeah.
That your way isn't necessarily the right way.
Yeah, but again, in going back to that, I think you and I both agree that there's no moral absolutes. There's no, this is right for everyone, this is wrong for everyone. So just because, one culture might live longer, or one society might live longer than another society, doesn't mean that their way is right or wrong. It's that level of value, and it also depends what era we're in. We're in very American dominated society. We're almost in the American era, if you will, even though we don't exactly live in the times of kings and queens anymore. Back when Mongolia still is, or ever was, the biggest empire that ever ruled the world. They might have gone to another place and then put their moral high ground onto some other place. They might have gone to France and said, your way is stupid. We're living longer. We have more prosperity. We have more wealth. Our women are more fertile. This or that. So I guess it also depends on the dominance of a culture or a society, depending on the time that you live in, and another good example is the time that the Chinese discovered gunpowder. All of a sudden, that were like the biggest hotshots in the world.
On a tangent, I was looking at a world map yesterday, and I looked at like where France is, and I looked at where Moscow is. That's Napoleon conquered all the way to Moscow, but then he kind of backtracked and screwed up by invading Moscow. That's just wow. He
Are you kidding? Mongolia dominated the whole Silk Road, all the way into the Mediterranean Sea. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Wow. Nice.
What are we?
I was
Let's be special friends.
I was comparing that to say Nazi Germany and how much they conquered Europe.
Yeah.
Compared to Napoleon, I'm like, damn,
Yeah.
Napoleon.
Yeah.
But anyway, up for a tangent.
Yeah, I think he was just most known for is because he was just such a tactician.
Yeah.
He was just such a scholar of war as well. So I think that's why he wrote his name in history books, as well as building a pretty impressive empire.
No, it also it was the beginning of the change from a monarchy to democracy.
Yeah.
Even though he pronounced himself as emperor.
Emperor or whatever you want to call it.
It was really the start of because didn't America stop didn't America was just founded as the French Revolution was kind of happening.
Yeah.
So it's when democracy and the veering away from monarchy began to happen. And also before we were talking about ideas or technologies that inspire change towards cultures. The Dark Ages, there was like no changes in philosophy or thought or science because people were people didn't question question society. They were locked into religion.
Yeah.
And the societal structures of monarchy, like there's a place for each person, and their place is decided when they're born. For example, like the king is the head, of the monarchy is the head, the aristocrats are like the arms, and then the
it's a very ant-like society.
Yeah,
it branches out. And everyone has their own status and role.
Yeah, and no one would question it. But then once we get out of the set societal rules and people start questioning after like the Black Plague and like how can God let this happen? People started to be woke.
Stay woke.
And we get guys questioning God, questioning the nature of reality, and then and then technologies come and wars happen, and then everyone, and then
free thinking all of a sudden became accepted.
Yeah.
And then now it's
you're not a witch, like the whole Pirates of the Caribbean, the new one. Even though it's a pretty
okay, I'm seeing it, so don't ruin it for me.
Well, basically, there's an ongoing joke where the main character, Teresa Palmer, I think, is the actor's name.
Right.
She
is it Australian blonde chick?
Yeah.
Oh, she in it?
Yeah.
I think
She continues to be. There's a continuous joke that she's a witch because she's really smart.
Yeah.
And I guess it was kind of like that back then, with even like smart guys who question the nature of reality, like Galileo. Didn't he I forget the story. It was about the ball, and people thought he was
gravity.
Yeah.
Dropping things at different.
Yeah, and people thought he was crazy.
Yeah.
Like, and when he showed them, they thought he was like doing magic.
Yeah. Because all of a sudden, so it's like your thought process have to fall in between this space here. Yeah. As soon as you go out of that, as soon as you become an outlier, then it's
crossing the chasm.
Yeah.
That like we were talking about before.
Yeah.
I can't remember. What is crossing the chasm?
The innovators, early adopters. It's the first. Isn't it the first? Is it 17% or something? And there's early adopters. Then there's early majority, late majority, and then laggards.
Yeah.
So something doesn't go off until you have the early adopters. And then once you win over the early majority, then it's just a snowball effect.
And it's the same with, and we can adopt that kind of mentality with Facebook, and social media. Like Facebook just started with universities.
Yeah.
A couple of people were like, oh, this thing is dope.
Yeah.
And then it just spread across universities. 18% of the population all using it, and then boom. That's
why it's so good for business to be so niche orientated, especially at the beginning.
Yeah.
Because when you win over that niche, then you can start winning over the general population who lack the understanding of a certain
Exactly.
demographic or
Yeah.
a certain topic. We have totally gone off topic
Yeah, I know.
so much. It's not funny. I reckon what we should do next time is have like a whiteboard here, and then like the topic and the points, and we have to stick to those.
Okay. Well, we were talking about before travel and
why it's so important and why
and then we went on to cultures.
Yeah, we went to cultures, and then we went to
But also,
leaders.
okay, back to travel.
Yeah.
Gary Vee was talking about.
Sorry, Gary Vaynerchuk. If you don't know him, follow him on all social media platforms. Just type in Gary Vee on YouTube. He's the bomb. Yeah. Anyway, keep going.
Daily Vee.
Daily, super important guy.
I remember him saying in one of his inspirational 60-second dramatic music rants. He talks about the world's not going to change.
Yeah.
In the outside, so like, why should you go out there if you already know what's going to be like? Another reason why I think going and traveling to places that aren't on a Lonely Planet notebook, you already know what to expect. You want to go to places where you kind of adapt to your surroundings. And for example, you're not going to learn anything if you go to for example, Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Yeah.
What else is in Pisa?
There's nothing.
Exactly. It's a massive tourist destination. There's a Leaning Tower.
Yeah.
What else? You're gonna do some cheeky. You're pretty much doing it for that photo on social media.
Leaning on it. Yeah, that's it.
And or doing the leg press. Yeah, that's my favorite.
No, I think we can categorize it in. I mean, there's steps we can break down. So one, what we're trying to say is that taking a gap year before uni, especially if you don't feel like you're ready for it. So if you're graduating high school and you think you found your purpose, you found your role, and you already have a 10-year goal in mind, you have that maturity and that discipline, then fucking go for it. No one should stop you, even if there's other people. This or that, if you feel like it's the right thing to do and that's going to fast track your career, go ahead, do it. There should be nothing stopping you. But if you're one of those people who still don't have things figured out yet, that's totally fine. You shouldn't be pressured by the social stigma or your parents or your friends or that stuff to go straight into uni because you feel like that's the only way to be successful.
That being said, also, I highly recommend you only go to uni when you're going for a technical degree. If you're doing anything in the arts, just learn straight away. You can learn everything you want from just experience, online tutorials. Like for example, if you want to get into VFX, just go to digitaltutorslinda.com. This is not a paid advertisement, but legit, you're paying 13G for a degree. You know you don't want to do all these other different aspects of filmmaking. You just want to focus on this thing. What are you waiting for? You shouldn't. And you pay for a monthly subscription. Totally immerse yourself in what you're doing. Get a good portfolio, and bada boom, you're in the thing you wanted to do. You get an internship, and then
I feel like a lot of people feel like they can only do something when they have the piece of paper, once they graduate, because oh man, I can't make my art because I'm not graduated yet, and then all of a sudden when you have the piece of paper in your hand, you have magical powers and you can do something. I think especially unless there's it's a dramatic qualification. I mean, even that, there's people who haven't gone through uni who still get uni bachelor required roles.
And also,
if you want something bad enough, you do whatever you need to do to get to where you need to go. Uni doesn't always have to be that.
Yeah, uni isn't necessary or always the option. And there's heaps of examples of my friends who finish their degree, but they use their degree to get into a job that isn't familiar or isn't that based around what their actual degree was. So uni is good for a piece of paper that says you've been there for 3 or 4 years. But
also, it also shows that you have the discipline to carry out projects and to collaborate with people.
Exactly.
But it doesn't necessarily mean that you have more knowledge than another person who has knowledge.